Hey guys, how's it going? Well, what I'm gonna try to do is something the same but different. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna show a video of me working on the van, but I'm gonna talk about something completely different. Because I find when I'm working on the van, I need to concentrate on what I'm doing, otherwise I'll make a mistake. Um, and then I can talk about something unrelated and be able to fully concentrate on what I'm talking about. So the other day, I actually broke down and bought this thermometer humidity meter. Um, it cost me way too much money. I paid 20 bucks Canadian for this thing. You buy them on Amazon for like 10 bucks, but um, I had bought one off Amazon already, and it turned out to be a piece of junk where you could put the batteries in, and then the numbers you could barely read them. So I bit the bullet. I'm making decent money right now, so I figured, heck, man, spend the 10 bucks. And I really want to see what temperature it is in here. So right now it's 13.1 Celsius. It's weird because when I picked this up like 2 minutes ago, it was 12.5. So how did it get so high in like that short amount of time? I don't know. And 62% humidity. So I'll keep an eye on that. So what I'm working on right now, well, actually yesterday, I filled in all this duct tape. I'll show you a little peek in here. Yes, I went crazy and did the unthinkable. I filled it with little cubes of polystyrene. I tried to shove it in there the best I could. I don't think I did a perfect job, but it's a workable solution, and this thing is stuck to my arm. It's cheaper than Thinsulate, and I have so much of it that I want to use all the extra stuff I have so I don't have to put it in the garbage. So I did that right from the bottom down there all the way up. Even right here you could see there's stuff in there. And I also did this corner over here. Well, this part I did do with Thinsulate. You can see that white stuff sticking out is Thinsulate. And I wrapped my wires in that tape just to try to prevent any potential sparks or anything from catching fire. So this whole thing here, it's hard to show with I'm leaning over, so it's awkward, but the bottom part is all little bits of insulation, and then I put Thinsulate up through the top. I'm still going to insulate it more. I'm going to cover it over with another ½ inch or inch. I'm trying to decide, because if I do an inch, it's going to dig into my sleeping area, so I want to make it that part as small as possible, so it doesn't crouch into my space. So today I'm going to work on this wall. I'm going to fill this space in, try to shove some stuff back there, and see if I can get this wall done. And I also want to, you know what, I think I'm going to end up doing is I'm just going to stick the extra foam bits in this thing too. This is a lot of space in here. Maybe it's overkill, but that's just the way I roll. So the topic of this video, the rest of the video, is why was van dwelling the best choice as opposed to other potential vehicles? Potential vehicles could be a travel trailer, Class C, Class A, etc. So there are a number of reasons that I think the van is best. Gas mileage. If you're towing a trailer, even if it's small, it's going to cause more fuel to tow it. And it's also going to be harder to park, of course. Everything is going to be harder to park that's not the size of a van. Like a Class C, etc. For me, the full size cargo style van is big enough to keep everything I want, and nothing I don't. For example, I don't want a black tank or water pump. Well, I could potentially see a water pump. It doesn't really take that much space, but not a bunch of holding tanks and all that. No desire for that. Ease of movement is another issue that the van allows for. You can get into malls or parking lots. Usually, even sometimes when I go to work, I've got a small parking lot to get out of, and it's a lot easier in a big van than if I was like driving a Class C. Um, yeah. So, and the other thing is, if you're towing a trailer, I'm guessing you're gonna have to insure that as well. So with the van, you just have one thing to insure, one thing to maintain, and one thing to buy. With a van, you can also do things to modify it to better suit your needs. For example, you could do like Bob Wells did and buy a really good high quality Chevy van. He got a 2015 Express, and then add a high top later, fiberglass high top later, as funds allow. Um, Another thing, if you compare one thing I would never, ever, 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 ever buy is like a Class A that it's like one of these Class A's that are not built on a van chassis. Like when you see these weird looking things and you think, what the heck? How are you going to get parts for that? I mean, it's just be a head scratcher all the way around. And I will always buy, if I ever did buy a Class C, I would insist that it would have to have a regular Chevy or Ford or Dodge engine. I forget what they call that specific name when the the vehicle is built on the chassis, but it's got like the van nose and everything. An advantage also of the van is just keeping it simple, small and simple. The longer I live, my 45 years of life, the more I realize that simple is better. Um, Less to maintain, less to break, and less to clean. It's just better all the way around. When you got like pumps and black tanks you got to clean out, um, I pass. I will just pass on that. And yeah, keeping it simple is awesome. So that's why I would always choose a van over like a Class C for sure, or anything with all that stuff I don't need. Now, one possible detraction from the van um, is you're seen more as homeless. There's like that stigma. Whereas if you got a big fancy Class B that is obviously worth like thousands and thousands of dollars, you're going to get more respect from those who completely don't understand the van dwelling thing, or like a really expensive, huge Class A. But if you're driving around in one of those, chances are you're not really my audience. You're someone who's got a lot of money, or maybe I might even say not much common sense. One of the two. So the definite drawback of a van is that there is potential, especially if you're doing the city thing. If you're traveling around, it doesn't really matter. But for me, 100% urban, it really does matter about being stealth. I just actually read in the news today, in the local news in Vancouver, about how there's more and more complaints about van dwellers because the average rent is $1,800 to $2,000 a month, and it's getting like out of hand with the rents. So the authorities are being tolerant to van dwellers, but as the van dweller population increases, people do stupid things, like they're dumping their waste, their human waste on the street, and they're leaving garbage everywhere. And it's really, the bigger the populace, the higher chance you're going to get with people that just are not respectful, and they're ruining it for everybody else. So the more of attention is brought to this and the bigger of a problem it becomes, the more likely it is for the authorities to say, okay, we got a problem here. What are we going to do about it? And being in a stealth vehicle, like a cargo van, construction style cargo van, is always, it's probably as best as you can do and still be comfortable. Now, for people that are doing this as a couple, a Class C, or at the very least a Class B, is about as small as I would want to go. Travel trailer would be better because, there's two people, there's more space required. I mean, if the person has to go number two, I don't want to smell it. I don't even want to smell my own, never mind somebody else's. So if there could be like a situation where there's a bathroom and the person has got a fan that they could turn off and turn on, and suck out those fumes, all the better. And so I would think if I was a couple, I would definitely want something bigger than a cargo van. Anyways, guys, those are my thoughts on why I prefer a van over a tow behind trailer or a Class A or a Class C. Thanks for watching. Take care. Have a good night.